Fourth house Plutos did not have it easy. They usually had a very dark childhood or a rough upbringing, and they're spending the majority of their lives getting over what happened to them so early on. It's almost like from the moment they were born, they just had to be in some sort of survival mode. Emotional manipulation, power struggles, even death was probably something that you had to struggle with early on in your life. It doesn't matter whether the home you grew up in was a dictatorship or whether it had no structure at all. You did not feel safe in your environment as a child. Whether you are male or female, you are probably carrying the trauma of a lot of your female ancestors. You're probably going to face a lot of similar challenges that they did, so you're being called upon to break the cycles, to not make the same mistakes that they did. The thing you trigger people most with is your privacy. You are a mystery, and you are very closed off to the point where it is frustrating. Because no matter how closed off you are, your emotional presence radiates. You can see through the act when it comes to people most of the time. You can tell when someone is not okay. And that can be very intrusive to some people. People feel very exposed around you, and they cannot access you back. You think just because you're in charge, nobody can hurt you, and that's not necessarily true. Another thing that really triggers people about you is your past. You know, when they do find out, it may be very heavy, very dark. It's a lot to deal with. But more than anyone, it's hard for you to deal with it. You guys have to make peace with the fact that you're not going to get apologies for the things that traumatized you. You're not going to have people taking accountability. You have to just accept that those things happened, and you have to build and move on from it. If the home that raised you went up in flames, your soul is being called to build a new home out of those ashes. That is what Pluto does. It is the rebuilder, and it rebuilds into something stronger, longer lasting, generational. Remember, you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for all of the ancestors, all of the people that fell in love and came together to bring you here to this earth. You are going to nourish and empower all of their souls once you start healing yours. People that have their Pluto in the third house are very tactical, methodical thinkers. What triggers people the most about you is your mind and how you choose to speak it. These people have very powerful voices that can infiltrate gaslighting, ego, just any type of wall that you're trying to put up. Their words are going to knock it right the fuck down. These are the type of people that are expressing their thoughts, and somebody in the back corner of the room does a huff and puff. They'll be the type of person to be like, oh, do you have something to say over there in that corner? Why don't you stand up and let the whole room know it? Because one thing these people can clock is a fucking microaggression. You see two people arguing on Facebook and you're liking one of the comments? Pluto in the third house is going to be like, oh, you want to like comments? Why don't you let me know your thoughts on it? They will leave no stone unturned when it comes to verbalizing things or arguing. The problem is you guys might be a little too good at this, and it makes people hesitant to talk to you. People that have good intentions, because sometimes you guys can be a little too deep in your thoughts, and you can be very snappy with your words, whether you realize it or not. Your mind is a weapon, but sometimes that weapon might be turned on yourself by your own paranoia. It's like you guys are dissecting every little interaction, trying to catch someone slipping, someone lying, and you just forget to experience things. You're always in this survival mode. You guys also need to let people talk. Not every argument is a competition. You always feel the need to win or get the last word. Abandon that. You're only making people resent you more. Understand that words have consequences. People do take what you say personally, and they don't have to forgive you for it either. You guys need to use your voices to inspire and transform people instead of just using it as a weapon to get little petty victories. I just cannot stress to you guys how powerful your voices are and how long your words stick with people. It's almost like your words haunt people. Your words are words that people are going to take to their graves. So you need to ask yourself, what impression do you want people to take to their grave when it comes to you? When I see people with Pluto in their second house, I just imagine myself trying to take a payment from them for something, and they're just holding on to the envelope as hard as they possibly can. I gotta yank the envelope out of their hand. The relationship these people have with money is very intense, and it's also something that triggers other people about that. When you come around, people's scarcity mindset gets triggered. People are triggered by the size of your bank account, they're triggered by the car that you drive, they're triggered by the house that you live in or the house that you maybe came from. But whether you came from rags or riches, you have a crazy obsession with your security. Stop letting your net worth determine your worth or the worth of others. Like, you never know. The toes you step on may be attached to the ass that you need to kiss one day. You also need to let go of your grip on things in life in general. If there is a possession that needs to go, let it go. If there's a person that needs to go, let it go. No more hoarding things or people. You need to transform your entire value system. Like, if something is leaving, just understand that it is not a door closing, but a new door opening. You are not here to own or invest in everything you see. You have to own and invest in yourself. Eliminate the greed and be a little bit more generous from time to time. Just know that when you're giving away a resource, you're not completely depleting yourself. There's going to be more where it came from, and the goodwill and the energy that comes back to you, that's going to feel good for you. You are so busy trying to build the world around you. It's like you're trying to build this empire, but the real empire is your soul. Nourishing your soul, making your soul more happy, less scared, figuring out what is the real beauty, the real meaning of life. Because all those materials, they're not coming with you to the grave. So think about that. Think about what you want to take with you to the grave. Those of you with Pluto in your first house have a very strong presence. You really do fill a room, and it can go in extremes. It can be either really good or really bad for you guys. And I think what triggers these reactions is Pluto's ability to make you look at yourself for better or worse. Whether you guys realize it or not, when you guys hit the corner, it's almost like everybody's insecurities are immediately triggered. And there's two ways people react to those triggers. They could either react to it by wanting to better themselves, they're inspired by you, or they react to it with actual insecurity. They're like, oh my God, fuck this guy, fuck this girl, who they think they are. And then you guys give them that Pluto eye and say, this is exactly who the fuck I am. Do you have a problem with it? A big lesson that you guys need to learn in life is that you don't have to be a badass in every room you walk into. Like, it's okay to be soft. Softness is not weakness. Weakness is actually trying to walk into every room like a badass, trying to dominate everybody. And whether you guys like it or not, there are people that can clock it. And I think that's some of you guys' worst nightmare, just clocking the fact that, hey, you're not scaring anybody. You're actually the one that's scared here. And what you're scared of is losing control of the outcome, losing control of the narrative, losing control of any situation in life. You guys have to let go of that. Like, your presence is strong and people already respect you. You don't have to hammer that in any harder. Being hyper fixated on control is not going to help you guys either, because when change shows up, especially for you guys, it's going to show up with some hands, and they're going to be swinging whether you want them to swing or not. And when you do get knocked on your ass, it's okay to be knocked on your ass. You don't look like any less of a badass or a villain, whatever. You got to learn to laugh at situations. Laugh at yourself a little more. You guys have a depth that most people do not possess. That is your badassery. Embrace that more. Just because everybody's not cowering in fear around you doesn't mean that you don't have that aura. People fear your death because it activates theirs. They have to start asking themselves the uncomfortable questions when you are around. And speaking of death, please reach out to me in my DMs if you want to get a reading so we can look at your Pluto and the rest of your chart more in depth. Let's figure out the answers and solutions to all this stuff.